Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We flew into Malaysia yesterday from Singapore. It was a nice quick flight, only about an hour. And once we got into the city, we hopped on a train and made it kind of halfway into the city until we couldn't really go anymore, that we would connect easily to our residence here, our Airbnb. So we ended up calling a Grab and he drove us through the city. So we got to see a little bit as we came in, which was kind of neat, to be kind of in the outskirts, because you always see kind of the main part of the city. So it was neat to drive through and see where, where Malaysians live and all the different types of parts of the city. So like I said, this is a big city. Behind us, you can see all the different buildings. We are right by the train tracks. You might have just heard a train go by as I was talking there. So you can hear police sirens. So all the sights and sounds of big cities, which I love. So I think I'm gonna enjoy our time here. We're here for 2 weeks, so we're gonna make them count and do lots of fun stuff. So at certain times of the day, you can hear the call to prayer from our balcony, which is kind of cool. Except for this morning at I think 5 a.m. when it woke us up and we couldn't go back to sleep. So Kuala Lumpur is a huge city. We're going to go around and see different parts of it while we're here. It is a big place for medical tourism, and we're actually taking advantage of that. So tomorrow morning I have a dentist appointment. We are going to get our eyes checked. We are going for some health assessments, all sorts of different things. James has already been to the chiropractor. He went yesterday. And the prices are really great. Just to give you an idea, James was at the chiropractor yesterday for 2 hours. He had spinal decompression, he had laser therapy, all sorts of stuff, and it cost about $100 US. So can't beat that. It would have cost a lot more back at home. One thing I think I'm actually going to absolutely love here in Kuala Lumpur is the shopping. So it's a little bit like Singapore, it seems like, where there's just mall after mall after mall, and they're not tiny little strip malls. They're these giant, huge, kind of futuristic looking malls with tons of shops. And it's kind of funny because last night we were in the grocery store and a guy came up to us. He was from England, and he said to James, "Get your wife out of here. Get her out of here. She's going to be doing so much shopping. Your wallet is going to hurt." So if you are wondering where Malaysia is on a map, it is below Thailand and just above Singapore. So, and then Kuala Lumpur, where we are here, is the capital of Malaysia. So today was a really fun day for me because I took a textile class, and it was Introduction to Batik. And Batik is actually a type of dyeing, how you can dye fabric. And it's done using a wax resist. So the class I took, it was an hour and a half long, and it was complete introduction, which is great because I actually haven't done this technique since college, which was a long time ago. We did study it as part of the textile program that I was in, but it's been quite a few years, so a refresher course was definitely needed. And it was great. So I was the only one in the class, so it was a one-on-one personal class, which also was amazing because then I got all of the teachers' attention, and he was able to kind of go through everything a little bit more with me, tell me more about the history of batik and all sorts of fun stuff I got to learn and do. So he started off by telling me the difference between Malaysian batik and Indonesian batik. And this was actually new to me, I didn't know. So Malaysian batik is usually more brightly colored, and it's actually, the technique is done, so the way that they add the hot wax onto the fabric is different. So they use, it's almost like a pen, and you'll see me using it in the video. You kind of fill up the pen with the hot liquid wax, and then it flows out kind of like a fountain pen. And in contrast, the batik from Indonesia is actually done with like block printing, so it's like big stamps. So they actually have these large stamps that they use for patterns, for duplicate patterns and production, and they take these big large stamps, dip it into the hot wax, and then that's pressed onto the fabric. So oh, and it's also Indonesian batik is also, the colors are much more darker and muted. So I learned that today in my class. That's the difference between Malaysian batik and Indonesian batik. So the first thing I did was I had to trace the pattern onto the fabric. The fabric is like a lightly woven cotton fabric, and it's stretched across a frame. So once I had traced my pattern, then it was time to learn how to use the pen with the hot wax. And you dip the pen into the hot wax to kind of melt away any of the wax that might have been left in there from the person who used it before you, and also fill it back up with the liquid wax. And like I said, it's kind of like using a fountain pen. I guess that's the closest thing to explain what it was kind of like. So I got to do a few practice goes on a piece of fabric, and then it was time to do it on my own design. And once you've done your wax pattern, then it's time to go over to the dye table and start using the dyes to create the colors of your design. And he went through all the way to, or the ways how to blend the colors, how to mix the colors, how to make like gradation in the colors, all sorts of techniques that they use here in Malaysia to color the fabrics. So I was free to do whatever colors I wanted, whatever you know, gradation, or, you know, I got to mix up whatever colors I wanted to. He kind of left me on my own to do whatever I wanted to, and I think it turned out pretty well. I've got it here. This is my butterfly, half flowers. And what I'm gonna do with it next, well, you all know me, I can't just leave it like this. It needs a bit of embroidery and beadwork on there. So I'm gonna do a little bit more work on it, and I'll show you in the next few videos what I end up doing and how it turns out. So I had to come outside and show you the view at night because it is just absolutely spectacular with all of the buildings all lit up and the sky. I think it's so beautiful. So we're just getting ready now, and we're gonna head over to something called Holi Festival here in Kuala Lumpur. So this is us as we exit the Holi Festival here in Kuala Lumpur. Did you have fun?
Yeah, we had fun.
It was so much fun, but we got to try and get cleaned up now. I am outside on our balcony here at Licentia Residence, which is where we're staying. And this is a beautiful, it's like a big complex. There's 2 towers. They're both, I think, 32 or 35 floors each. So they're huge, huge towers. Luckily, we are only on the 5th floor because I don't really like to be up really high in buildings. So you can see behind me, we're not up too high. But so far it's a really nice area. It's a gated kind of community. There's tons of security everywhere just to even get onto the property, which makes you feel safe and nice. There's lots of amenities here. There are swimming pools. There's an infinity pool that looks really cool that we haven't even gone up to see yet, but unfortunately I think it might be under construction, so we have to go up and check that out. There's also a gym, there's a co-working space, there's right below us there is like a whole kids area with a playground and a kiddie pool. I think there's like whirlpools. There's all sorts of stuff to do just in these 2 buildings that are joined. Actually, I think they're joined by little bridges. We have to go and check it out more and see all the stuff that's here where we're staying. So every afternoon, pretty much here in Kuala Lumpur, it rains, and it's like tropical heavy rain. So we're outside right now waiting for our ride, but another funny note, in a lot of the countries we've been to in East Asia, there's a lot of like tables that just hang around, and just kind of hanging out there in the rain, raw tables. So I always told James, look out, don't get electrocuted. This tower behind me is the Merdeka building, and this is the second tallest tower in the world. It looks kind of cool too. It's kind of space age. Very neat.
So we start from the middle because we have the most thickness of the coffee ground, and then we gently, slowly spread out to the round of the coffee, the ash of the coffee, until I have wet everything. So for me,
The neighborhood we are staying in is called Bukit Bintang, and today is actually St. Patrick's Day, and there are a couple of Irish pubs in the area. So we are going to go and have a little celebration for Happy St. Patrick's Day.
கண் பார்த்தாலே யோகமே அம்மா தாயே அருள் புரிவாயே கடைக்கண் பார்த்தா